Welcome to my channel. This is a reading for Cancer for the month of May 13th until the end of May. If you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by, and I'll just give you a quick rundown on how I've laid out the cards. If you do like the readings, for sure, please give me a like and subscribe. So how I've laid it out is generally I just do the career and finance in the center of the reading here. I have pulled a few general energy cards for the reading. I do have some cards that are out of view just because I've run out of some space, technological issues, and some space challenges. Anyway, these are the general energies. I've got Aphrodite. I also have the Arrow Master. And again, this is for Cancer. These are general energies. I actually have another new, well, it's not really a new deck. It's a deck I've had for decades. I just decided to pull it out. It's actually the Cartouche deck, so I'll go through some of those as well here in a minute. And I also have off to the side the 3 of Raphael as advice cards, as well as the 8 of Raphael as advice cards. And I have the Empress, which is also advice card. So again, general energies, and these are the ones following at the back. And again, there's a few here in the center as well. So just to give you a quick rundown of the cards I'm using, I use the Fortune Reading card deck, Sharina Star. I'm also using a numerology deck, which is something I haven't, don't think I've used before, but anyway, that would be the Love card and the Effort card here. I also am using, and that one is actually by Michelle Buchanan, and the Way of the Cartouche, which is Murray Hope. I'm also using these cards here, which Strength and Constraint is what the cards are here. This is actually, again, another older deck that I have that I just thought I'd pull out, just something different. It's the Book of Rune cards, and that one is actually by Ralph Bloom. So I also have the Archangel Power cards, which again were the ones here off to the side, which I've already shown you. The Empress, 8 of Raphael, and the 3 of Raphael, and the Rider-Waite deck, which of course is predominantly in the center here. So I've also got a couple of other cards, as I mentioned, the Master Arrow deck, which is quite a nice deck as well, but that is the Hidden Realms and also the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck, and those were the ones that the Colette Baron Reed and Doreen Virtue cards also. So anyway, just to get right into it, I'll just as a quick overview. As far as financial issues go, I don't feel that there is anything too dramatic that's standing out. You do have a tower moment toward the end of the month, which I feel is just sort of upsetting your balance a little bit. There might be something in terms of, I don't want to say job loss, but there's definitely going to be some kind of an argument or something in around a workplace situation here, and that's with the Tower, as well as the 8 of Pentacles here. And again, that's toward the end of May. And you also have some challenges here and nostalgia toward the end also that leave you feeling a little more pressure close to that Tower moment as well. Overall, you do have some positives toward the very end of the month with the Sun card, and there's again the clarifier that's attached to that, which is just you're trying to find some balance here. I'll go into more detail later. You also have the Nine of Pentacles, some independence there with your money, but again, there is a Tower moment coming somewhere toward, not at the end, but toward the end of May here. So probably within the next week or so. But overall, the beginning, well, from May 13th on, I did feel that you were still in the planning stage. You're still trying to build some equity up, or you're trying to, look toward mastering some kind of skill. There is some new opportunities coming through here. And I did feel that the overall energy of the read also spoke to, I feel, a lot of behavioral issues in terms of probably emotion, I suspect. There is certainly a number of cups, which is representing emotion in your reading. So I do feel that there's a lot of emotional issues that are coming up for you in the month of May. The cards repeatedly coming through, and you do have 3 of them from 3 different decks, were cards of strength. So toward the back here, you have the card of strength with the Rider Waite deck, and you also have, that's a clarifier card nonetheless, with the Knight of Pentacles, but you also have the card of strength with the Book of Rune cards, and close to that one, you have constraint. So I feel that there's some kind of emotional upheaval that you really need to look at. And again, coupled with the Tower moment, as I showed you earlier, with the Ten of Wands, there's some kind of beginning or end of a cycle or something that needs to be addressed there. You also have the Strength card coming through here with, that one is the Colette Baron Reed Enchanted Map deck. So again, I feel like there's some kind of emotional issue that is draining you. I do feel it is around a couple of spheres. I don't think it's just emotional in terms of a relationship. I feel that this is to do with the work front as well. I don't feel that you're not working. I feel that there is something you are working on, or that you are employed, whether it's just a temporary situation or something that will continue. I feel there's a break in that situation for the month of May. Maybe it's a contractual thing and you're only there on for a short duration and waiting for new work or something along that line. But either way, I do feel there's some emotional challenges here, a little bit of upheaval for you. Okay, so getting into the general energies of the cards, I'll start with the Eagle, which is toward the back here. So the Eagle deck is basically saying you will soar towards your destiny with greater clarity and strength. And again, strength has been emphasized here in so many different ways that I don't feel that you need to be strong and brave because you're going to be destroyed. I don't feel it's that kind of a situation where you're going to be broken down and have to rebuild. I feel it's you needing to reorient your, almost a shift in your perspective and taking a new approach to be able to bring about goals or your desired outcome. So whatever that desired outcome is for you, I feel that you have the ability to control it and direct it. So it's not outside your control is basically what I'm saying here. And then, of course, I'll get to the Devil here in a minute. So we'll start with the Eagle card. And again, that's the fortune reading cards. So with the Eagle, you are being asked to be strong. So it is a card of spiritual protection and knowledge. You're feeling more connected to your guides, or you're relying on intuition, whether you are a strong believer in that or not. I feel that you are likely someone who is intuitive, irregardless of whether or not you've given it a lot of consideration, as to what your beliefs are religiously or otherwise. But this card is basically that you're able to take a look at your surroundings, and you're above your surroundings here. So you're able to look beyond the situation and get a global picture of, with a clear, keen eye as to what you're actually dealing with. So because of that perspective, you're actually able to grab hold of your destiny, or the things that you want, the things that you desire. So you don't want to hesitate and miss that chance. Again, it's the strength, the power, the wisdom, and the courage of the Eagle that allows you to fly and recover from any trauma or bad luck or indecision or any wrong choices or anything that may have slowed you down in the past here. You actually have the power through May. Again, this is from May 13 onward to the end, so I know that that's just a shorter period of time, but and sometimes it can overlap into the next months, as I say, because everybody's timing is a little bit different. Even though they will be generally going through many of the same energies as a Cancer, I feel that A lot of the energies are displaced in timing. So some tend to arrive at a certain lesson or the same lesson, just at a different time, or their lesson comes in a way that is still the same lesson for Cancer, but sorry, I'm trying to find the words for it. But you're approaching it in your own unique way as an individual. So hopefully that made sense. But anyway, this card, as I say, is just about you overcoming obstacles. You've got the power to make those changes. You have the ability, it's all within your control, to overcome any personal relationships. You're growing stronger. You're letting go of some things here, or at least you have the opportunity to let go of those things if you choose, and it will certainly make the roadway clearer ahead for you. It's also a card in terms of career and money that are letting you know that you are recovering from any of those wrong choices or indecisions. It's about getting, overcoming the obstacles and bringing you closer to your goals. So again, about being confident, things are within your reach. You're able to see things with a keen eye, and you're looking at your challenges now with clearer vision. And you do have that freedom to achieve. So again, strength, power, wisdom, courage of the eagle is what's seen here. So these are very strong energies coming through for you in May. So do harness that and leverage it in a way that you can use to your advantage. So the card following that, again, was the Devil card. So the Devil card is about take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit. So, I mean, the Devil card is a little bit different in each of the decks, but overall, it does speak to obsession or manipulation or energies that overindulge, things that are not in your best interest, that will hold you back or catch up later and cause you some degree of loss. There is always a level of negativity or a price that's attached to that overindulgence. So again, avoiding temptations. I mean, it could go anywhere from one direction, from addiction to indulging in overeating, lack of exercise, sitting around way too much. It could, take on codependency type relationships. It really does represent a lot of different areas here. So again, this is a general energy card. So care needs to be taken here just to avoid anything that might make you feel powerless or in any way trapped. Whether it's overspending or, as I say, overindulging in alcohol or drugs, or just avoid activities that would involve corruption, because I do feel it will work at a disadvantage and leave you in a vulnerable position. So this again, it's just a reminder to take care. The whole point of May is basically to strengthen you, not to weaken you. So if this represents a person in your life, somebody who's domineering, that might be trying to manipulate you or control you, just be extra careful about putting up some boundaries and strengthen and protect your self-esteem, or those areas that you feel are a little more vulnerable. It could be you obsessed with somebody else, or someone else is obsessed with you, or toxic, or someone who's a little bit dangerous. Just don't ignore those red flags. Again, removing yourself from anything or situations that might hold you back or leave you in a weakened state. So again, in terms of career and money, it's also about, avoiding anything that might indicate quick rich schemes or something that big investments, that kind of thing you want to avoid at this time. I don't feel May is particularly secure in all areas there. I think that there is some fragility. I'm not saying that your money in any way is not strong. I just don't feel that that it's a consistent amount of money that will go beyond May. I feel there's some kind of interruption or something that will slow down, either in May or following May. And so just to be careful not to blow all your money in one go here for the month of May. If it does relate to somebody bullying you at work or in business, don't play the victim. It's a card letting just hold back any strong words, but be strong in standing up for yourself. So the whole point is, again, trying to maintain some kind of balance. And especially because you have a tower moment coming, I feel there's a conflict that will arise. So temper yourself. Okay, so next card following that I'll get into is the love card. And again, this is the numerology guidance deck, and this is the Michelle Buchanan cards. So again, with the card of love, it's just that. Love for self, it's love for others. But overall, this is a card that indicates that you need to see the world through the eyes of love. So just to sorry, that's my cat in the room. No harm, he's just waking up. This card again is just really about looking beyond the illusions and starting to see the beauty of the world and aligning yourself with source, source, whatever that means to you, whether it's, spirit guides, whether it's your ancestors that are speaking to you, a loved one that's passed, a religious reference, whatever, again, you feel most connected to, because spirit has many forms. So again, this is about you aligning yourself with that so that you can attract what you are. And when you see things through the eyes of love, that's what you will be surrounding yourself with. So again, it's really important to have, and because the devil again was also about self-care, it could also represent you being a little negative mindset, something to that effect. Maybe putting yourself through some unnecessary torture, mental torture, that kind of thing. I feel that it would be more than anxiety. I think you're a little self-deprecating. It could even be that I do actually feel that is a part of this here. I do feel that you are doing that toward the middle or end of May here, but again, it'll still turn around here for you. But again, this card is just about needing to go within, recognizing any limiting thoughts and beliefs, things that are holding you back from experiencing that love of self, that love for others, because you have to ask yourself, are you open to receive love? And do you think that you're worthy of love? And if you do, you have to find ways to love yourself first before you can love another, number one. But able to improve your situation, you really have to believe that you are lovable. You can't look for it externally, because it would just be a continual circular redundant situation where you're constantly looking for immediate self-gratification. So if you're wanting to build a foundation, it needs to come from within, as I said before, so that it externally mirrors in your world. So it's unconditional love of self, and you'll also attract that love from others into your life as well. Okay, so the next card, again, following that, is effort. And I think that one's pretty self-explanatory here too. And able to achieve any kind of goal, love or otherwise, you have to put in the effort. So it's a card that's letting you know that extra effort is required, and able to overcome your obstacles and challenges here through the month of May. So you are going to be tested. There was another card here that I remember seeing as well that also indicated you would be tested for the month of May. So tested in whatever way seems relevant to you. You don't want to surrender to self-pity, or which this card represents. You don't want to surrender to that self-pity or laziness or negativity or frustration. You have to utilize your inner power for you to be stronger. And again, the cards repeatedly indicated that you needed to be strong. So again, there's no sense in tearing yourself down. You need to find a way to make it right so that you can integrate your shadow self, or the darker parts of yourself that, that you often don't face. And when you accept them, you can try to move past them and move things in a direction where you know that they exist, but they don't surface. They stay dormant because that's not where you place your focus. So this is a card of pulling yourself together, having faith in your success, that you will be able to obtain those goals. Because as I said, I feel that you do have a lot of power and control in the way that you direct May. I do feel that you are able to draw on your inner strength to bring about some other resources to help achieve that outcome that you're looking for. Again, don't succumb to those quick fix solutions or any shortcuts or manipulation. You want to plan and focus and, use your perseverance and your drive, your effort, your determination so that you can break through any restrictions that might be holding you back at this time, or coming up through the month of May and possibly into June. So it's a card of never giving up. Your success is definitely coming. It's guaranteed, and you do have the ability to control that outcome. I just don't feel that you're necessarily aware of it, but you do actually have a lot of inner strength. And again, I don't feel it's when you're because there's so many cards of being strong. I feel it's about shifting your perspective about what strength actually is. So moving on past that, I think I will read the strength card. The strength card from the map, which is the Colette Baron Reed deck. So that is, I'll just pull it forward here for you. So the strength card here is, again, it's about, finding your true strength, and that it doesn't come from externally. It is something that's self-reliant. It's about having that faith in a higher power to help you to bring about your outcomes. It is a card letting you know that you can accomplish things at this time for the month of May. And again, I probably shouldn't go on about too much of the strength cards because I think they're fairly self-explanatory, but it is about you connecting with the power of the universe. Your ideas, again, are being tested. This is a time when your relationships may be tested here as well with this card. But it's just having the courage to dive in, and you're able to harness creative energy, which helps you to bring about solutions. And whether or not you feel that you have that courage, you actually do have, the divine to rely on to harness that power and to give you some of the resolution that you're looking for to overcome it. So again, don't be too afraid of being strong. Strong is not about domination. It's about changing your perspective to find a solution, and in a way that helps you to bring about the outcome. And you can't use one, or that you shouldn't really rely on one solution fits all kind of I'm trying to find a way to say that here. I don't feel that one solution fits all. I think you have to enable to bring about the achievement of your goals and the way that you want to see them. I feel that you do need to actually shift your idea of what strength actually is. So, there's other cards here that also speak to the ways in which you'll be able to do that, but I'll get to that in a minute here. So this is actually the rune cards, and with the rune cards, this is actually, again, it's about new beginnings, it's drawing strength. Because anything that you have held as a foundation before is now being challenged. It's being tested because you have to release that old form and move into some kind of a new form of strength here. So it is about growth and change, and it's about, plunging into the darkness, that part of yourself, again, that's not yet integrated, so you can find a way to accept the dark parts of yourself, again, not to let them persist, but to accept that they exist and not to focus on them, compartmentalize things so that you realize that you could go to a dark place, you could, create unnecessary disharmony in your mindset, but it's not to your advantage to focus on that. So it's about redirecting your focus. So again, this is about that progression of death, decay, fertilization, gestation, and rebirth, as they say. And it's really about you undergoing that metaphoric death of the old self, and you are now being told that you are free to move into this new self. So sometimes we resist in letting go of the old way because it's familiar. But again, when you resist things, there's usually an impact or a tower moment or something that can be disguised as a loss here, or you might construe it as a loss. And I feel that this is a card of opportunity. So just to remember that, if there is some kind of intense emotional bond, something that you're hanging on to in an old way, allow it to reshape. Allow that bond to be redesigned and let the old self become a new stronger self. So again, this is demanding of you to learn to adapt that part of yourself. And it's also about being humble. It's a time of humility, that's called for. Because that's when you know how to be humble, you know how to make the change stick. For example, in a work situation, if you were directing somebody in a managerial way by demand, yes, the person might do the task. But if you do it in such a way that you're able to harness somebody's reason to motivate them, so you know what motivates them to get something done, you have a longer lasting relationship and a stronger foundation to have them do future projects. So again, it's a card of just letting you know that unable to rule, you have to learn how to serve, I guess is the best way that the card expresses it. And so you need to redefine, again, your idea of what strength is and able to manifest the outcome that you're looking for. And that will also take, because they're together, constraint on your behalf. So in using a level of constraint, again, this is necessary for you to be able to find that balance, to identify again your shadow or your dark side or the repressed areas where you have some growth that may be stunted, that's resulted in some kind of a weakness. And what you're going to do is you're going to project that by not taking things personally, and you're going to project it out into the world by working with that shadow. So you're examining what's inside you, and you're magnetizing it. You're making it not such a difficult thing to handle because you're recognizing the troubles and the setbacks, and you're taking a look at the teachers and the guides and the people that are around you, your allies, and you're using those resources to help you to move forward. So the constraint here is, again, letting you know there's going to be some holdups here. There's going to be some things that slow you down. So you want to consider your plans in a really careful, methodical way. You want to be persevering, and it's just a time to restore or mend situations, I would say, is the best way to direct that in terms of your relationships to yourself as well as to other people, and as well just to use the adversity to your advantage. So, again, whatever might be holding you back in terms of, again, your darker unconscious self, you want to bring forward to be able to say that you acknowledge it, but you also want to be able to not place your focus on fixing it. You want to minimize the damage that it could do by focusing on the good that you can do to develop the relationship. So again, if you were somebody who's always really, strong-willed, manipulative, dominant, that kind of thing, you can acknowledge that that's a part of your personality, but you want to be able to focus on your softer side. Find the strength in your softer side to be able to create a balance to achieve what you need to achieve. So it again is acknowledging that that self exists, but you're moving past that self to balance it out with a more in a more harmonized way with your feminine self. So again, if you're a man, using more of the feminine energy. If you're a female, using, a balance of some of the masculine energy. So finding a way to harmonize the two, not relying so much on one extreme over another. So, okay, moving on past that, I think I will read the Way of the Cartouche card. As I say, this one I don't read very often. I don't think I've ever read it herefore, and it's been a lot of years since I've actually pulled that one out. So I'm going to refer to the book on that one. And that one is actually representing a stylized tree, is Osiris. So the card represents wisdom, justice, integrity, stability, and respect for those that are older and wiser. So again, it's a spiritual kind of strength that you can turn to in times of need. So again, it's a wise spiritual advisor or counselor or somebody that is in your sphere that you can also look toward as a guide. Or again, this can be whatever that represents to you in terms of the spiritual world. So I don't feel that you're at a loss. I feel that you do have some kind of resource here on a few different levels, not just from the divine, but also within your sphere. You have some resources that you may not be aware of. This is a card again of, letting you know that your ideas are sound and that you do have, security in growing and harvesting things and practical blessings and things that are going to come through for you. You have some gifts here that you can rely on, some things that will create stability, but you have to identify them to know that they are something that you can utilize as you work towards your goals. The other card is the Arrow Master, and that one's about hitting the mark, intention, and detachment. So that card is again just that. I mean, it's a card letting you know that you need to focus your intention and able to create what you're needing. So it's about an ally. It's about teaching you to shoot straight for the stars, being more deliberate in your focus on your dreams and your intentions. So it's about aligning with spirit. And again, it could also represent somebody in your sphere that you can go to as well to assist you in trying to accomplish your goal here. So, but again, it will take your focus and able to make it happen, period. Even throughout the reading, I did feel that you have the ability to direct whatever the outcome is, simply by shifting your perspective, taking on a different approach. So again, using strength, but not the strength that you would have normally relied upon, using a softer strength. So it's about balancing your male and female energies. So you may think that it needs to veer in a certain way, but according to this card, this card is letting you know that the divine is really the one that steers it. So you might feel that you have full control, but you have the control in that you can direct your intention, but the divine is the one that steers it. So it is a fortunate message with that card. Just to remember, just to let go. You can't control the outcome. You can focus your intention, know where you're directed, and get things on point, and be assured that you will receive what you're aiming for, so long as you allow yourself to not control the outcome in the way that you normally would have controlled that outcome. I don't know how to. So it's about focusing the attention, but allowing yourself to step back, trust in where it's headed, use a different approach again for strength to guide it, to guide where this is headed, and trust that it is going in the right direction, even though you're using a different approach. But again, you're still relying on strength. It's just a different side of strength that you're harnessing, because you're getting rid of the old and you're building on something new. It's a new part of yourself that you're accessing here. Okay, so with Aphrodite, it is awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. I don't feel this is specifically saying get out there and dance. I do feel this is a card that's letting you know it's about, again, balancing male and female energy here. And just to be more receptive to that, allowing your softer side to come through with this card. And not be rigid in the way that that you would normally try to control or steer the goal. But it is, again, it's just about following a degree of balance between your male and female elements. Okay, so that was those cards. So I'm just going to bring this down here. And okay, so the next cards are actually related specifically to career and finance. So the first card that I have here is the Seven of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles is about planning. So that is a card, again, this is from the 13th on, just because I wasn't able to get things out a little sooner. But with the Seven of Pentacles, it is about you starting up with some kind of new strategy. You're still in a planning phase with your work projects. I feel you've been working on this for some time anyway, but again, with a lot of the slowdowns and the quarantine and so on, it's probably stretched out over the course of a few months here. But again, it's about preparing for a new strategy here with the Seven of Pentacles. So you are trying to make some plans. You are focused on, on the rewards. Your vision will pay off in the future, because at this stage, you're just planting the seeds. So it is about rewards and profits and payouts later, but you are not yet finished what you started. You are just reviewing things at this stage, but it is more of a long-term investment that will pay off. So you're working toward that financial goal is what's happening here with the Seven of Pentacles. The next two cards is the Queen of Wands. Wands are all about energy coming through here as well. And you also have the the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups represents a message or news that's coming through. It could represent a person as well. But I'm going to start with the Queen of Wands. So I feel the Queen of Wands does represent, in this reading, could be yourself, or it could be someone else in your sphere. Queens are definitely people that are already at a certain degree of success or level of I don't want to say command, but certainly have a self-assuredness about them. So with the Queen of Wands, it's about somebody who is quite magnetic, attractive, and optimistic, and friendly, and outgoing, that kind of thing. Somebody who has a lot of energy, could be an entrepreneurial type energy, or somebody who's just a really career-oriented person. Somebody who's quite focused, they could represent that sort of that alpha energy. Somebody who's pretty dominant, but they're a really independent, courageous kind of person. So as a person, that is what that would represent. Somebody who knows what she wants, and certainly that comes with a certain degree of guardedness as well. This could be somebody that, even though they're very self-sufficient, they might compartmentalize a lot of feelings and things that, to the exclusion of their ambitions. They're maybe not as emotionally available, but they do get, because of that fierce determination that they have for their goals. So again, if it's representing a person, that is how I would characterize it. If it's in terms of a work situation, it can be that you are getting higher status in your job. It can represent that, this need for you to be seen and heard. But it's also, in terms of money, I would say it's not really about just about being moderate with your expenses. It's not really a time for you to be crazy with your expenditures with this card. It is a card that is also to letting you know you could also be re-inspired. Certainly it is, positive, uplifting energy. It can represent a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Doesn't have to be any of those, though. Just the energy of that kind of person that's coming through. But with a Queen, it's more of a mature energy. So it is somebody who has a fairly deep understanding of themselves. And again, even though this is somebody who can be quite successful, I feel at this time for the month of May, there's a little bit of, even though I feel money is still fairly good for May, I just feel don't spend it all, because I feel something is, I feel that you need to hold on to it. That's all I'm going to say. I just feel like you need to hold on to it. Maybe there's some unexpected expense or something coming. I'm not really quite sure, but I just feel that you shouldn't be, hold a little something back. That's all. So with the Knight of Cups, again, I feel this is just a message that's coming through. I don't feel that it's necessarily representing a person. Otherwise, you'd have a lot of people in this reading here. But with the Knight of Cups, I feel that it's a message coming through that there is some kind of battle that's up ahead here, which is with the Five of Wands. So again, Knight of Cups, I mean, if it does represent a person, it would be somebody who's quite, romantic, loves to be in love, somebody who's inspired. It could actually even represent as a double energy here, in that, because the Queen is a very inspiring person, I feel that that could also emphasize that. But just because he is facing into the future here, I just feel that there is some message that's also correlated. But if it is representative of a person, it is a positive, inspiring person, and it's somebody who's, emotionally sensitive. And again, it could be tied into this Queen here as well. Maybe she is feeling that there is, normally she's an outgoing kind of a person, but feeling some lack of, it's actually a narcissistic energy that comes through with this. So I'm just trying to jump ahead here by looking at your other cards for clarification. And I'm actually just going to leave it where it is. I feel that the Knight of Cups is still representative of less of a person. I feel it's more about some message coming through here that you do have something ahead here, something ahead. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So the next card that follows that is the Five of Wands. And again, it's more of a fiery energy. So there is some kind of a battle. I feel that, you might be, I don't know if this is a battle of self or if it's a battle that's around you, but you're definitely battling something here with the Wands. So again, with the Five of Wands, I don't feel that it's anything to worry about. It is quarreling over nothing. It's really that you're feeling challenged or persecuted, or there's some kind of frustrating circumstance that you were being warned of with the Knight of Cups, which is probably happening right now. Actually, just regarding the time frame, is just some kind of, you know, at odds with yourself or rivals that are around you. There's some kind of clash of personalities, something along that line. But there's some kind of obstacle that is coming through here. And, the only way through is just to find a way to correct that balance, and so you can move on into the sixes, which you do, because following that up ahead is the Six of Swords. So again, I mean, it's just a period of ongoing arguments or something that you feel somebody is a combative personality, something along that line anyway. It's a conflict, where you might be feeling, as I said, persecuted, or feel that someone is against you, or there's some kind of rivalry or discord of sorts. But either way, it's a minor setback, so nothing to worry about, but you do feel the need to defend yourself. And because you feel the need to defend yourself, you also have the Knight of Pentacles coming through. This is a really grounded energy. This is somebody who is, again, it's a knight, is a message coming through for you, but it is a really grounded person that's coming through. Somebody who's, I feel this is actually your energy. It's a hardworking person that, it's a hardworking person that is slow to get to the money, because the Knight of Pentacles is a slow moving energy. So, whatever your projects were that you've kind of put on the back burner here that you're still planning with, I just feel that there is stability, but it's a conservative card letting you know that it's a slow move toward the fruition of that project. So again, it's a dedicated, grounded individual, somebody who's a little bit slow to express themselves. But again, it's a card of saying, because I do feel this is a big part of this, coupled with the Strength card, if you're feeling overwhelmed, just keep pushing through. There is success or improved prosperity that's close, in the coming months here. You just have to be patient. I just wanted to check to see how many knights you have here. You actually have 3 knights coming through here. You've got the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and you also have the Knight of Pentacles. So when you have 3 knights, it does help to speed things up a little bit. But knights are about that courage to pursue a path that's meaningful. It's someone who's on a mission. It's about that, trying to create a positive change in the world, basically. So it takes courage to fully commit to that path, and it is a protection card. But it's about taking the courage to move on this path without really knowing where it's leading. So with that courage card, I feel that's quite relevant to where you're headed. And I do feel that you have a lot of strength behind you, just naturally, because it's come up so many times in this reading. And again, about shifting your idea of courage and strength so that you get the most out of it. So following that is the Three of Pentacles, and this is really about you creating mastery. So 3s are definitely a really positive number here as well. 3s are definitely about creativity and achievement. It's also, It's also a card of it's a unifying force. It's really about the birth of things. It's taking it to, a new level. It's a new life, basically. And which I do feel was a good part of your reading, is that you were moving yourself into a stronger a stronger self by merging, the darker complexities of yourself, and balancing that with a softer side to be able to gain leverage. So with the Three of Pentacles, I feel this is that self-expression. It's the creativity. It's, speaking of more expansion, it's about building on something. It's about completing something so that you do obtain a degree of mastery, because the Three of Pentacles not only speaks to a degree of mastery, it's also about using the resources around you and having other people come in and assist you on that project. So you have a lot of access and awareness of your own potential, number one, but you have a lot of access to resources that you just need to tap into. This is actually an achievement card. As much as it is an achievement card, it's also about using a team of professionals to become that master craftsman or develop that skill or take it to a higher caliber. So you're doing something that you're passionate about with this card. So whatever this project is, it is something that you are really getting behind, that you're really trying to manifest. Again, it's still in a growing phase here, but I do feel that you will become a master at it, whatever it is. And because the Knight of Wands is also ahead in this reading, the Knight of Wands means it's something you find fun. This is something that it is creative, whatever this project is. It is a growing phase, and it's a card of also saying don't give up, because it definitely has merit. It has reward. It has definitely has the potential for you can manifest it, but it has a lot of potential as well. And with the Three of Wands, it could even speak, which is another card that you've got here, the Three of Wands, and again, threes magnified for sure. So that intensifies the creativity, the achievement, the unifying wholeness, and all of that. But the Three of Wands also is an energy card. And with the Three of Wands, it could even speak to jobs in writing, something along that line. It was clarified with the Ace of Swords, and that was the Three of Pentacles. So again, with those two cards, I feel that you are now getting clear on what it is that you want. It is closer at hand than you think it is. The Swords is about the mind energy. The Swords are about, and especially too because it's an ace, it does indicate that it's still something that's a little new in development. But with the Ace of Swords, the ideas are coming through. You've got opportunity, new beginnings. You're eager to learn. This project is allowing you to expand. It has a lot of possibilities. This is about mental clarity with the Ace of Swords. It's about seeing the truth. It's about, as I said, ideas coming through and making you feel as though that victory is close at hand. You're making the right decisions. You're sharp. You're using clarity to bring about and taking action, because this is also a card of action. You're taking action to make that and focus to bring about that triumph. So again, it is a card that you can now see the path ahead to accomplishing that goal. And emphasized again, not only because you had the threes in the reading, but you also have the Three of Wands. And again, the Three of Wands is about energy to achieve that goal, but it's also about taking a look, standing back, seeing where you're headed. You now have potential to move on. You've moved from the Two of Wands, basically, which is the newness of something. And at the Three of Wands stage, it's about you're ready to go on that adventure right now. This is a stage where you are ready to explore things. You're looking ahead before you take on this new path. It's a really optimistic, highly creative card. You are unleashing your knowledge, so you've been planning this for a little bit of time. Things are starting to culminate now, and it could even speak to travel, but I don't see a lot of other cards that are 100% supporting that yet, but you definitely have some kind of expansion, things opening up through your own effort. This is a card of doing things through your own effort, as is the Knight of Pentacles. That is a card of you doing things through your own effort as well. So again, it's a hard work ethic to unleash this new path and move on this new plan. It's not so much a new plan, but I feel it's a new path with your plan. It is a long-term goal. I do feel that you're moving into some new territory here. But again, this is a card of taking a bit of a chance. It's a new journey. Knowledge is power. You now have an understanding of yourself, and your world is starting to expand. There is a period of solitary thought and meditation that's kind of, bringing you back before you're able to achieve this this goal. But it is, again, forward thinking and expanding. It's enterprising. It's you being responsible and making the opportunity happen. And again, I think we've already covered the Knight of Wands. This was a card of energy, a message coming through that it's a creative project, all of that. You also have the Knight of Swords, the Justice card. The Justice card is really somebody who represents a Libra energy, number one. I do feel it's an indication that you're getting some kind of fair decision that's coming through. So maybe there was something that was in the way, or that you're on the right path, something along that line. I feel that it's probably closer to you being on the right path here, that you're using, a strong sense of your own justice to create some balance here. The right decisions are being made. You're feeling divinely led. You are using that intuition to guide you. It could also speak to legal matters or something coming through here that are moving in your favor. But again, it is still a card of, you being rewarded. So it's a good sign of money coming in as well. But again, it just to me feels as though you're just taking responsibility. You're making good decisions. It is a card of balance and fairness and preserving equilibrium and fair decisions. So somebody of strong character here, and using the light or intuition to guide you. And again, as long as you stay away from the devil temptation energies here and swinging back and forth between any positive or negative moods, then, and trying to stay in the middle ground here for the month of May, because I do feel there's a lot of temptation to move ahead into a lot of emotional spaces, which can slow you down. But with the Eight of Cups, again, Eight of Cups is about moving past all of those difficulties. So whatever emotional upheaval that you did have, you are moving past that into new territory with the Eight of Cups. And it does progress into the Nine of Cups as well following that. So but these are clarified. It's the Hierophant with the Nine of Cups. But again, with the Eight of Cups, you're moving to the Nine of Cups. So there's some growth there. So Eight of Cups is again about big changes coming. It's a time of transition. So something is happening in the month of May, probably right about now, because this is about from the 13th, well, probably just within the week or a few days from now, that there's some kind of change that is taking place. You might be feeling a little unsure of yourself, but there is success that is waiting for you. You just have to go after it. So again, it's about, in terms of career, it could even relate to some kind of video creation. But anyway, it's a journey of self-discovery as well. And again, you're leaving behind the old, you're moving into a new direction, you're reevaluating your priorities here. You're striking out on a new route, and you're now enforcing some boundaries here as well with the 8. So, and again, the 8 is about finding that balance. So again, there was progression. You do have the Hierophant, and you do have the 9 of Cups. The Hierophant is about tradition and trying to maintain some level of could speak to government or job or something that's making you happy here, some kind of traditional, because the Nine of Cups is a clarifier, some kind of traditional situation that is allowing you to feel, happy. It's bringing you to a level of happiness and security. But I do feel with the Hierophant here as well, because it is somebody who has wisdom and, again, traditional, and does represent institutions and, again, religion or education or some kind of gain overall with this card. But again, I just feel that it is the thing that's helping to bring about some happiness. So it could be some kind of large corporation or group or institution, government, anything like that, that's helping to bring some level of happiness through for the month of May. It is, again, speaking of, it could also speak to a mentor coming through here as well, but I still feel it's about some kind, it feels more traditional. It feels like it is, again, government or something along that authoritative line that's coming through, that's bringing about some level of happiness, or something that makes you feel secure. So whatever that is to you, is helping to bring you balance and harmonize things to a degree. Again, I mean, it can represent a few different things. Like I said, it can represent divine inspiration, that kind of thing with an education. It can also indicate somebody who's a little bit stubborn, but I just feel that this particular combination is related more around the lines of something formal, traditional coming through to allow you to feel more secure in the month of May. So moving toward the last parts of May, last weeks of May, again, 6 of Swords, you're moving away from difficulties and problems. However, even though it does follow with the Tower moment, having said that, with the Swords, again, I feel that whatever this Tower moment is, it's not to say that you have no problems in the month of May, but you are starting to feel more positive about life with the 6 of Swords. So you are moving into calmer waters. So something perhaps with the traditional government card or corporation card that gave you money is helping to make you feel stable. And so that's why you feel the sense of 6 of Swords here. That's why you're feeling like you're moving into a new perspective or some kind of sense of renewal here. But again, it's a departure from feeling sad or sorrow. So maybe there was some kind of emotional conflict that was going on here as well in the earlier parts of from May 13, in that first week of May 13 on. But either way, because the swords, of course, are mental energy. But again, with the Tower moment, I feel there is an issue that is perplexing you about work. So I feel that you have a passion project that you're working on, but I think there is something else more specific to work that is coming through here that is causing you some distress. So because there was some kind of rivalry or battle or conflict that was happening earlier in the month or week of May 13th, again, that could have been you just battling yourself. But I feel in this particular instance, the Tower card is related to some kind of conflict around your work situation. So this Tower moment is about breaking down something at work. So something at work is going through some kind of argument or challenge. Maybe there is some kind of suffering that's going on here because it is followed again by the Ten of Wands. So I feel that you're feeling overburdened by something with that Ten of Wands following. So there's an end of something. And I don't want to say necessarily end of a job. I think it depends on how you deal with that. But I do feel that there is some kind of argument that's taking place here, and there is a change that's coming as well. So again, there was another card here that also indicated that there was a big change coming. This is indicating that there's a change coming, and I do feel it is around work. But again, with tower moments, they don't last. So again, this is for the month of May. I don't feel that even if it is a job loss, I don't feel that you're going to feel that it is taxing you in some way. I feel that you have a lot of other things going on that are helping to give you a sense that you have some potential. You have something that's going to work in your favor. But it could also be just you resisting change around work, and that there was some kind of, new realization around work. That you had to change something around the way in which you dealt with your work situation. You had to change your mindset. The tower moments bring awareness, but again, they're problems that don't last, and certainly it's about being resourceful as well. So breaking things down to reconstruct again. And for sure, I mean, you're feeling some overwhelm here. You also have the Six of Cups. So you're feeling nostalgic. You might be looking back on your life, doing a bit of self-analysis, that kind of thing. But the Ten of Wands is the end of an old cycle. So things are going to start to look up again toward the very end of May. But it is about you feeling a burden of some sort. And again, I still feel it was around a work situation. It could be about you also being obsessive about something, you were committed to, that was connected to the past. It could be you yearning for something in the past. It could be just that your past is surfacing and it's just a situation that's repeating itself here. It could also be that there's just too much time that you're reminiscing about your old self, and that's causing you to feel burdened, or it's just old memories triggered, period. So again, it could also be with the Ten of Wands, you're feeling exhausted. There's a lot of emotional strain that is related to perhaps something in your past here, where you just feel like you're solely responsible for something. So moving past that, it is moving into, I feel, a more balanced energy with the Queen of Cups and the King of Swords. So the Queen of Cups, again, that queen it could represent a person, but it could also represent just energy that you're moving into. And queens for sure still do have a fair impact in terms of, leadership qualities. But it was clarified with the King of Swords. So I do feel that the Queen of Cups is for sure about somebody who's patient and calm, emotionally understanding, somebody who could represent a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And sometimes you can get a combination of energies here, which, it doesn't necessarily represent two people, but could be just characteristics of one. But it's just about someone here that I do feel this could be a part of you as well, too emotional in your head. Somebody who's very intuitive, but again, I just feel that it's a mature person. It's somebody who is sensitive and wise. But again, when it's followed by or clarified by the King of Swords, I feel that it's more balanced out. So even though there was a lot of emotional, cups are all about being emotional, and for sure there's some sensitivity there, but the King of Swords balances that out and has this person, which could be yourself here, coming through as more realistic and rational, and certainly, balancing out those emotions. Again, this is a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, and again, it's a clarifier. So I feel that this emotional individual, again, with the Queen of Cups, is now being balanced out with, fair judgment with the King of Swords. So there's a balancing there. That was a clarifier. So it is about finding some kind of resolve emotionally and starting to think more abundantly. There's clarity coming through with the King of Swords. So it's again about creating some boundaries as well. So maybe that is the way in which you were able to find that balance, because it is about feeling like you need to be fair. You need to use your logic here. This is about wanting to communicate, being strategic, and starting to understand things, and a deep thinker. So again, those two are clarified together. So I feel that you found a balance toward the end of the month. And again, with the Queen of Pentacles, somebody who's cares about her family and is, grounded in a materialistic world, focused on the money. And certainly with the Nine of Pentacles, I feel that there is definitely money coming through here, for especially for the end of May. The Queen of Pentacles, again, is somebody who is a mature energy. It is somebody who's practical and realistic and home loving. It's a resourceful person. And again, it could be yourself or someone in your sphere. It could represent a Capricorn, but it's a multitasker. It is somebody who is capable of attracting opportunities to themselves as well. So it's about, again, using resources wisely is what I feel this is coming through as. The Queen of Pentacles is about you using resources wisely to bring about the Nine of Pentacles. And that Nine of Pentacles is about you feeling you have enough money that you're feeling secure for the month of May, or at least by the very end of May. You feel stable. So I'm almost done here with the reading. So the Nine of Pentacles is, again, mission accomplished. You worked hard for something. You've got a little bit more money than you expected here with the Nine of Pentacles. This is, again, a clarifier for the Queen of Pentacles. So I just feel that there is money coming through toward the end of May, and that you are feeling much more independent financially. You're feeling more confident, and you feel like you've got some independence here. So I still feel you're working on some things here with the earlier project, because it's more of a long-term project with that Seven of Pentacles. But I just feel that the final cards for the career and finance part of it, I still have 3 advice cards to go through as well, but where the Sun card as well as clarified with the Two of Pentacles. So those 2 cards, Sun card, of course, is about, finding happiness and feeling complete and secure. And, you're moving into a place here where you actually do have a level of confidence that's coming through here. So, and you're definitely feeling balanced because it was clarified with the Two of Pentacles. So again, overall, end of the month, there is definitely money that you are feeling secure about. I don't feel there's any problems there. I just feel that there's some kind of conflict or possibly a little blowout that happens just before the end of the month. But whatever it is, it doesn't really affect you too strongly because you are balanced with the Two of Pentacles. So again, that's about, just an unexpected boost of good luck that's going on here that created some balance for you. Good things have come into your life here at the end of the month, and you are feeling happy and accomplished in some way. You've got some positive feelings. There's excitement. You feel overall happy. And again, with the Two of Pentacles, you've balanced it out. There's some kind of success that's come through. So moving past that, the last 3 cards are advice cards. And again, I did feel like you were going through some emotional issues throughout the month of May that caused you a little bit of imbalance. I don't feel that it was beyond your control in any way, but I do feel that you did have to, again, redefine your idea of what strength was to be able to flourish. So you might have had to water or tone down some of your normally given characteristics or attributes to be able to achieve success on some front. So anyway, with the Empress card, it is time to act upon your plans. Creativity is rewarded, luxurious or abundant resources. So this card, again, this is one for in the red or white deck that also speaks about new ideas and things coming to fruition. And it's much the same in this deck as well with the Archangel Power card. But again, with the Empress, it's about encouraging you to manifest things. So you've got plans that will definitely grow here, and you just need to devote the time and the love to it, so to speak, and that attention. It's also a card that is asking you to focus on family matters, relationships, children, but you are assured of a happy outcome if you focus on it in the intended way. So in terms of career, again, it's about those things becoming successful. Any artful projects are also going to be successful. Any emotional issues are going to fade away. Any physical concerns are also going to be in the back burner or put to the back. It is a time for you to move forward. It's about growing gardens, so to speak, and you've got the determination to get things done. So following that is the Eight of Raphael, and there is something better waiting for you. Do what you know is right for you. It's a spiritual quest. So with the Eight of Raphael, eights again are all about overcoming problems and difficulties. You're moving past all of that. So, and you do have a progression because it goes from the 3 of Raphael to the 8 of Raphael. So there was the 3 of Raphael, but I'll get to that one at the end here. So the 8 of Raphael is that basically it's letting you know that you might have had to go inward for some of your answers right now. Ask in the divine or ask your ancestors or spirit or God, whatever that is for you, to come forward throughout the month of May to aid you in moving past some of the emotional difficulties that were surfacing for you. So your past experiences have been important in helping you to understand who you are. And so just to be grateful for that experience, like whatever the things were that caused you pain, they're to help you to grow and build upon. So it's about that change in your job or relationships that need to happen and able for you to continue on this journey. It's a spiritual quest as well, as much as a physical journey. But it's about doing what you feel is right and what you know is right. And it can even represent a change of your interests. So what you felt might have brought you security in the past has now started to change for you because you are starting to redefine and possibly even start to integrate some of those darker shadow parts of yourself, accepting that they're there, but not acting on them and certainly not giving them a lot of time and attention. So moving on past that is the 3 of Raphael, and it's a reason to celebrate. It's a community of friends, happy announcements regarding relationships or children. And again, you have several 3s in this reading, which I'd mentioned before was about expansion and growth and a unifying force, and certainly about creativity. So it's a great reason to celebrate something creative that you've also been working on. And it's about acknowledging people in your life that love and support you and experience this, this journey with you, whatever it is that you've had to go through. Acknowledge those that are helping you to achieve as well. So sometimes we take for granted those that may be around us, and in contributing small support, it is often dismissed. So this is a card as a reminder, just to let you know, get involved, recognize those people, and take the time because they are also a part of your success and your prosperity. So, and it's also about improved health. So that is the reading overall for Cancer for May 13th to the end of May. And I do these readings a little late, so I'm sorry they're a little long, but I do want to make sure it's thorough enough for you to get something out of it. So until next time, have a great May, and we'll see you in June. Stay safe.